Alright, Aliko 3 here. Today's video, we're going to just look at 10 favorites from the personal collection. These will include PSA, SGC, and Beckett. The majority are PSA cards, but some nice cards here. We're going to have 3 sports represented, so hockey's going to be left out of this one. I'm still trying to develop the hockey collection, so it's a work in progress, but we'll start out with baseball. So I just like this image. I like how it has the rookie cup on it. I'll try to put some notes to the left on how they were acquired and maybe the pricing of them, but I'm not going to be able to recall the exact numbers on every one of these cards, but I can give rough estimates. So 64 tops, the rookie cup, Pete Rose, second year. Not a huge fan of the 63 with the floating heads. It's just an awkward card, but I know some people love it. That's, as collectors, we have the choice to like what we like and not like what we don't care to collect. So I've always liked this Pete Rose. So 64 and a 7, centering right to left is nice. That's kind of the top thing I'm looking at nowadays for vintage. Hopefully it's not trimmed. I have no idea. I don't think it is, but it could be. This is a great one. So there is a huge premium for these PSA 10s, namely Peyton Manning and Randy Moss. That's just because there's so many more 9s than 10s, even though the condition is very similar between the 9s and 10s on this card. As a collector, I would definitely just pick up the PSA 9s. If you're looking to invest, maybe you want the 10s, but it's just, I mean, this card goes from being 400 to 1200 or more, and from a 9 to a 10, which is crazy to me. So the Moss Future Watch, I got some weird glare coming through, but I've had this one for a while, and it's in one of the old PSA slabs, so it's just a great card. So these were part of the rookie year. It's not technically a 1989 card, it's a 1990 issued card, but it is. They were only found in the little blister packs on the starting lineups. So almost looks a little off center top to bottom. I don't know if they're all like that or if the card's like pushed down. But that's a 1990 Kenner starting lineup, PSA 10 Griffey. I just love this card. There's something about it. It's a cool photo. As a child, I did collect some of the starting lineups, and just to think that this card was sitting in that blister, rattling around all that time, and it ended up in pretty much perfect condition. It's very cool. So 1990 Kenner Griffey. This Acuna, I think this was last spring. I picked this one up. I don't really have much of his prospect autos. It's the only one I have, and it's the refractor one. I tend to like the refractor ones. Base is cool, but the refractor just a little more shine, and not too much more expensive. So, of course, when you get into the gold and oranges, it really gets expensive, but this is somewhat affordable. So the chrome refractor in a PSA 10 of Acuna. And then I just got this one back last month. Maybe it was this month. No, it was this month. My second SGC order. This puppy came in, an SGC 10. I think it might have been a Beckett 9.5 snap out, but it has all the qualities of a 10. The only thing I can see really is like a minuet spot of white on that bottom left, which is acceptable. So beautiful card. Love the Future Watch edge. It's actually cool how they put the numbering there on the slab. I believe he'll be getting to the Hall of Fame here soon, so watch out for that, and that should cause a spike in his cards. Now we're getting into some heavier hitters as we go on through this video. Rookies and Stars. Brady, this is a card that I've been kind of eyeing for a while now. I've always thought this and the Pros and Prospects are the two of his cooler rookie cards in terms of, I think they have good potential to go up a lot more in the future, and they just are classic looking cards. So this is in the Patriot uniform with no sweatpants, and it's actually a pretty tough set. Thin card stock. Most of the time you'll see it chipped or off-centered. So a PSA 9 is actually really good in this. I'm going to guess a PSA 10 of this is worth thousands, but I think a 9 is pretty good too. So beautiful Brady 9. This was a purchase last. This is a big card. I'm not going to sell this one anytime soon, but it's a 2018 Topps Chrome update. It's the red refractor auto. It's out of 5 here on the back. So this was just bought raw. I think it was last December, but It looked pretty good, and I know PSA doesn't grade these cards too tough. They're pretty lax with the chrome stuff, so they gave it a 10. So Soto red refractor to 5 and a 10. And then this one was last, I think, September. And his stuff, of course, is enjoying a bump as he's in the running for the MVP. So the 2018 Panini Contenders. This would be the base one. So the difference is this logo up here. The base one is kind of black and white, and then the variation is colored, so you can kind of see the Raven or whichever team you're looking at better. If that makes sense. So here's the back of it. Same photo on the back, and I believe there's a print of around 90 of this card. So this card could be a huge card in the future. We'll kind of see if he can stay healthy. He's a pretty young player, takes some hits. So, but you can say that for any player in the NFL. I mean, they all take hits, but he does take more than the average quarterback. Just picked this up yesterday. This is kind of the reason why this video was shot. I just wanted to share this Hank Aaron with everybody, because this is a card that I've always wanted, and I've always kind of waited for the right example. I was at the National last August, and I saw some copies. They look nice. With the PSA stuff, I try to stay 7 or lower. I think when you get up in those 8 and 9 range, you get into where the fraud and the trimming's happening. So I think if you stay and look for a nice 4 or 5, you're gonna probably get a most likely untrimmed card, but you never know. Centering on this one, right to left, 60, 40, 65, 35. And it's just the color is good. There's no snowing really. So it just came in yesterday, and of course when you buy a vintage card like this online, you can't get a completely accurate assessment of the card through pictures online. You gotta kind of have the card in person and tilt it and look around on it, and it presents like a 5. So I'm pretty happy with this one. This is just going into the collection. It's a casket card, so that one, love that Hank rookie. And then this is just a monster. So when I bought this one, I don't know, 2015 or so, I mean, this card was never, it was expensive, but it was never like it is now. It was always like 2,000 or 3,000, but now it's jumped to just crazy levels. But it is, I mean, I think it's his coolest rookie card. Of course, I'm an Upper Deck fan. I love the Ultimate Collection, and it's on card. It's out of 250. It's just got a lot going for it, and arguably the greatest player of all time. So there's the back of it. So this is a Beckett 9.5, slabbed 7,500,000. So slabbed around 2011, 2012. Just a card that just doesn't really need words. I don't know if I've shown it on the channel that often. Maybe once, but the Ultimate Collection, LeBron James, Beckett 9.5. And the autograph's not smudged either, which is an added bonus. So could this card potentially be a crossover candidate? Yeah, I've kind of talked to PSA about it, and the amount of money they want to cross it just doesn't make sense to me. They want like 2,000 or 3,000 to cross this. I don't know. Plus the risk of cutting it out and putting it into their holder. It's just, for a card this valuable, I just don't think it's worth it. It looks perfect to me in this case. Of course, I'm not a huge Beckett backer, but at the end of the day, I'm more about the card than the actual slab that it's in. So that's the LeBron Ultimate. It's just going to stay in this slab. It's too expensive, not worth the risk to me. So that's it for this one, and have a good Thanksgiving. Later.